really well-known posters of World War II.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Ben Shahn was the artist on this. He was a Lithuanian that moved to America.
Yeah.
When World War II happened, he went to work for the federal government producing these posters to try to explain what was going on.
Counterfeiters don't have super expensive, coin making machines. So what they do is they cast them. You'll see little imperfections all over the place from the casting that wouldn't be there from the stamping. How's it look?
The episode kicks off with a man hauling in what looks like a giant wooden fan blade. Turns out it's an old airplane propeller supposedly gifted to his grandmother by Charles Lindbergh. Yeah, that Lindbergh. Rick immediately perks up, already smelling aviation history and potential profit. The old man, meanwhile, wastes zero time roasting Rick, saying the prop matches his head. Classic. Before anyone even verifies anything, we're already knee-deep in jokes and wishful thinking.
This is a propeller passed down to me. It was a gift to my grandmother that was given to her by Charles Lindbergh.
Hey, Rick, that matches your head.
I'm coming into the pawn shop today to sell my Charles Lindbergh propeller.
The seller insists Lindbergh gave the propeller to his grandma for selling war bonds. Amazing story, except there's no proof. No photos, no paperwork, no scribbled note saying, "Thanks, love Charles." Rick and the old man both agree. Without documentation, it's just a cool piece of wood with a very expensive bedtime story attached. Pawn shop rule number 1. If the story's priceless, but the proof is missing, the value drops faster than Rick's patience.
It was a gift to my grandmother from Charles Lindbergh for selling war bonds during World War II.
I imagine she sold a whole lot of them.
A whole lot of them.
Do you know what kind of plane it's off of, or?
No, the story I have is it was never put on an airplane.
Back in the day, there was superstars, heroes, whatever you want to call them. Lindbergh was one.
Rick calls in an aviation museum expert, basically a walking airplane encyclopedia. He confirms the propeller is pre-World War II and in excellent shape, which is good news. Then comes the gut punch. It has zero connection to Lindbergh, none. And Lindbergh wasn't even heavily involved in war bond giveaways like that. The seller's face falls apart in real time. You could practically hear the dream deflate like a popped tire. Brutal reality check.
Doing? Hey, old man, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Yesterday, a man brought in a propeller that he believes was given to his grandmother by Charles Lindbergh. So I call my buddy Mark in here, see if we can tie this thing to Lindbergh, and then maybe we can make a deal.
Negotiations turn awkward fast. Rick offers $1,000. The old man nudges it to $1,500. Still, without documentation, the seller decides to hold on to it. Honestly, smart move. If he ever finds proof, that price could skyrocket. For now, though, it's just a mysterious garage relic with a legendary name attached and no way to prove it. Pawn shop limbo at its finest.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate your time.
Not a problem, thank
Hey,
you.
Mark.
Even though Mark couldn't verify this propeller for us, it's still an antique, it's still in great shape, and it's still worth money, just not nearly as much. Since I can't tie it to Charles Lindbergh, I'm sort of torn here. What we do know is we have a pre-World War II propeller that's in pretty good shape.
Then the tone shifts completely when a guy drags in what looks like a medieval rocket launcher. Rick identifies it as a Musketoon, basically a massive early firearm used to blast crowds or clear ship decks. The thing is enormous. Rick explains it could fire rocks, nails, scrap metal, basically whatever chaos you stuffed inside. At close range, this wasn't a weapon. It was a one-shot demolition service with zero customer satisfaction policy.
What do we got here?
Well, I was cleaning out my grandma's garage. She passed away a couple years back, and I found this thing in the corner.
What was Grandma up to?
I don't know. That's a very good question. What I really like about this gun is the thing is huge, and it's like a prehistoric rocket launcher.
Rick notices replaced screws and odd parts, so he calls in his arms expert, Sean. Sean lights up immediately, tracing parts back to the 1680s and refurbishing work from the 1740s. He even says most museums don't have one. Rick's eyes widen like he just saw buried treasure. You can almost hear the internal monologue, "I need this. I absolutely need this." When Rick gets that look, somebody's about to lose a valuable antique.
Earlier today, a guy brought me a Flintlock Musketoon. If it's real, it could be worth a lot of money, but I'm skeptical. So I called in my buddy Sean to take a look at it and authenticate it for me.
So what are your concerns, Rick?
First off, is it real? And if it is, it looks like it has a lot of stuff replaced right here. I mean, every screw seems different. The lock on it, I've never seen a lock like that.
Sean drops the valuation bomb, $10,000 to $15,000 at auction. The seller asks $10,000. Rick counters at $4,000 because of course he does. They haggle like pirates arguing over a treasure chest. Back and forth, numbers flying, tension building. Finally, Rick lands it at $6,000. Pricey, but he's clearly thrilled. That grin says everything. He just bought himself a piece of violent maritime history.
You have no idea what you have here. You know, you don't find this every day. I mean, it's 100% real, and it's worth quite a bit of money. Rick, most museums don't even have a Musketoon like this. I mean, these are very, very rare, and you really have a prize here. This is fantastic.
Nice.
A conservative auction estimate, a major auction house, probably between 10 and 15,000.
The episode opens with Rick in full substitute history teacher who actually cares mode, randomly lecturing about avocados. Cinco de Mayo is the biggest day for avocados. 80 million sold. Corey blinks like he just woke up in the wrong class. Why do you know that? Rick fires back instantly. Because I read. Chumlee, of course, hears none of it and yells, "Margaritas, sombreros, mustaches, party time." Rick tries to explain the Battle of Puebla, and Chum shuts it down. I thought we were celebrating, not studying. Fiesta energy, 10. Historical accuracy, under review.
Did you know that on Cinco de Mayo is like the biggest day for avocados of the year? They sell like 80 million avocados for Cinco de Mayo.
Why do you know that?
Because I read. Don't you read?
Not about avocados, no.
You guys are just haters, all right? I'm throwing a Cinco de Mayo party.
Oh yeah, I love Cinco de Mayo parties. I'm gonna help you a lot, don't you worry. Margarita machine, giant sombrero hats, mustaches. We'll do some piñatas with candy in them.
Not with candy, put money in the piñatas.
Then things escalate fast. A man walks in holding a Claude Monet painting like it's just a casual Tuesday item. The owner died, so I ended up with it, he says calmly. Rick nearly forgets how to blink. So, a real Monet? The seller nods and casually drops, "It was insured for $2.1 million. Rick's brain starts buffering. If this is legit, we're talking millions, he mutters. Suddenly, the shop feels less like a pawn store and more like Sotheby's with fluorescent lighting.
Well, pretty good. What do we have here?
Well, it's a Claude Monet painting.
Is there the weird chance that your name is Claude Monet, or is this actually the Claude Monet?
No, this is the actual guy.
Okay. Where in the hell did you get this?
Collateral for a loan.
Okay. The guy just defaulted on the loan, or?
No, actually, he took the money, went in the hospital, and died.
Okay.
So that, I guess, in itself is a default.
Rick launches into an art history lecture like he's been waiting his whole life for this moment. Monet started Impressionism. Renoir followed. They changed how people saw color and light. He studies the brushwork like a detective at a crime scene. The seller hands over museum insurance papers and a Las Vegas art museum tag. Everything looks legit. Rick starts sweating. "Let me get my art guy down here," he says, already picturing his bank account having a heart attack.
He started it. I mean, Impressionism is named after his painting Impression Sunrise. That's why his paintings are worth so much money. The things that made Monet paintings so great, they were a little bit blurry. That's Impressionism. You could still see detail and depth. That's what made them so special, and that's why they go for millions and millions of dollars.
Meanwhile, Corey's handling a completely different kind of heavy, literally. A seller drags in a 1930s Firefighter water cannon and says he planned to water flowers with it. Corey just stares. "You didn't just buy a hose?" The guy wants $700. Corey explains these were cutting edge before modern fire trucks. Cast iron, bronze, brass, basically luxury plumbing. Negotiations kick in fast. Seller drops to $650, Corey counters $600, handshake, deal done. Somewhere, a garden hose just sighed in relief.
What in the world did you bring me this time?
This is an old, what they call firefighter station. What they do is they mount these on top of their fire trucks back in the day. When I bought it, I was thinking, well, I'll just hook it up out in front of my house. I live by a mountain and throw some wildflower seeds on the side of the mountain and hose them down.
Back to the Monet drama. Expert Brett arrives, sees the painting, and immediately gasps like he just met royalty. This is the Monet. He explains Impressionism, color theory, all of it. If authentic, this could be a $5 million painting. Rick nearly passes out. Then Brett pauses. But there are red flags. The texture's too flat, the color's too limited. Rick's smile fades. "Call another expert," he says. Nobody wants to accidentally buy a $5 million fake.
Brett is coming in to help me figure this out.
Oh my gosh, this is the Monet.
This is it.
All right. Monet's one of the biggies. I mean, when you think of fine art masters, Monet's right up there near the top of the heap. He established probably the most important artistic movement of the last 200 years. I mean, there's prestigious museums that can't get hold of a Monet.
Second expert Gerard arrives and inspects the Monet like Sherlock Holmes with a magnifying glass. He explains age cracks, paint layering, texture, all missing. A 150-year-old painting should show wear. This doesn't. Rick's face drops. Gerard delivers the final blow. It's in the style of Monet, but not by Monet. Boom. $1,000,000 dream gone. Seller looks like he just watched his lottery ticket disintegrate. Rick just sighs. Figures.
A guy came in with what he claims is a genuine Claude Monet painting. This is the guy who pioneered the Impressionist movement. Brett took a look at it, but with these kind of numbers in the millions of dollars, he wanted to call someone else in just to make sure.
Gerard is the man that I go to in our gallery when we have masterpieces come through just to verify authenticity and things like that. I trust his opinion implicitly, so.
Okay.
The seller asks if there's any chance. Gerard doesn't even blink. 200% sure. The paint's too new. Surface too smooth. Rick gives the guy the gentlest pawnshop consolation possible. Well, at least it's pretty. The man nods, defeated. That's the pawnshop version of, you didn't win the jackpot, but here's a free sandwich.
Not absolutely not by the end of Claude Monet.
One crack in the paint itself, so it's
Usual for 150 years old painting. Also what you notice, it's almost all in one plane. Monet will have showed this with shadows. This will be much more pronounced. This is too flat.
Usually when it's too good to be true, it generally is.
Well, that's disappointing.
Well, thanks for bringing it in. It was fun.
Episode wastes zero time. Hit with a Kevin Costner Dances with Wolves saddle, an 1886 Winchester rifle, and a tattoo kit all in the first breath. Like the Wild West and a Vegas tattoo parlor collided in the parking lot. It's already in business mode, scanning for value. Lee heard the word tattoo and mentally clocked out. Feel it already. It's one of those episodes where absolutely nothing will go smoothly, and everyone's about to learn that the hard way.
Saddle that was used by Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves.
This saddle is from Dances with Wolves. It could be worth big money.
You got your liners, shaders, 20 different colors of ink.
Chum, guy wants to tattoo your face.
You don't want to mess up this circle of beauty.
I have an 1886 Winchester rifle.
This is a classic American rifle, the gun that won the West. And that's why we always check to see if they're loaded.
Through the door is a guy proudly holding a saddle he swears Kevin Costner rode in Dances with Wolves, glowing like he just discovered buried treasure. Meanwhile, gives it the kind of look you reserve for suspicious leftovers in the fridge. Interesting, says. In pawnshop language means, I believe you, but keep talking. Seller's excitement is contagious. Rick's skepticism is dripping like a leaky faucet. What claims always sound great until reality shows up.
So what do we got here?
Saddle that was used by Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves. There's got to be a lot of women who'll pay a lot of money for something that's touched Kevin Costner's hind end.
So how'd you get this thing?
I bought it at an auction. Caught my interest. I'm a big Kevin Costner fan, so.
All right, do you get any paperwork saying it's from the movie?
Well, I got a card from the movie house and a few pictures. The people at the auction house assured.
Flips through the documentation. Photos, a card, nothing that screams major film production. Looks more like a Civil War reenactment saddle, he says bluntly. See the seller's confidence wobble for a second. Rick pivots quickly. Hollywood sometimes used real historical gear. Maybe it's not a movie prop, maybe it's actual military history. Seller perks back up, cling to hope like a cowboy hanging onto a bucking horse. Rick?
I don't know if it's a reenactment or a different movie, but I just see nothing here with Kevin Costner.
They assured the buyers that this was a saddle that had been used in Dances with Wolves.
There's nothing here that proves that Kevin Costner's hind end sat on it.
Well, we could do a DNA test for some.
Nah. I mean, the weird thing about this is it looks like a U.S. military-issued saddle.
Floats the idea that it might be a legitimate U.S. military-issued saddle from the Civil War era through the early 1900s. Suddenly, the story gets interesting again. Seller cracks a nervous joke about making sure the expert has actually seen Dances with Wolves. Nods. You can tell he's already thinking numbers. Would fantasy or not, if it's authentic military gear, it's got real value. That's what matters in this shop.
This thing was in Dances with Wolves, but this saddle does appear to be old U.S. military. This thing could be worth a lot of money either way. So you got two things that could make it worth money. It's actually a U.S. military issue saddle, and was it used in the movie? I mean, it's sort of a conundrum at the moment, because if it's both, it's even worth more. I would really like someone to check this out for me.
Another seller rolls in with an 1886 Winchester rifle, and Rick lights up like a kid on Christmas morning. The gun that won the West, he says, practically reverent. Seller casually mentions his father-in-law used to threaten him with it. Pauses, then grins. Well, it's one way to keep the family in line. Dark. It's awkward. It's very Pawn Stars. History mixed with just enough personal drama to keep things spicy.
1886 Winchester rifle.
Looks like a Daisy Red Ryder, don't it?
Yeah, but it can do a lot more damage.
It's a spent shell casing, and that's why we always check to see if they're loaded.
My father-in-law used to threaten me with it when I started dating his daughter, and now since we've been married for so many years, he actually gave it to me, and I told him the first thing I was going to do is sell it. All I know is that it was...
Goes full history professor mode, rattling off details about calibers, black powder, and craftsmanship. The seller nods politely, clearly just waiting for the money talk. Rick spots hammer marks from a rough repair job. Someone definitely fixed this thing with whatever was lying around. Still, it's rare. Rick offers $1,500. The seller accepts instantly. Rick looks thrilled. The rifle? Probably just happy it's no longer part of family arguments.
And this thing is a 4590 Winchester centerfire. The diameter of the bullet is a .45 caliber with 90 grains of black powder behind it. And it packs a hell of a punch. And that's a lot of pressure on the barrel. This is one of the first rifles that could handle a load like that. This gun was ahead of its time. Just everything about it was just unbelievable. This is a classic American rifle. There's no way to describe
the saddle. Burt Mark arrives, ready to bring facts. He identifies it immediately as an 1859 McClellan military saddle. Nods, satisfied. Mark drops the curveball. Too small for a grown soldier. Only used on a pack mule. Miller's face says it all. Wood hero prop? Mule accessory. That downgrade no one prepares you for emotionally.
My name is Mark, and I'm an expert in Western memorabilia. What I love about Western memorabilia, it's part of the history of our country and American culture. Well, it's definitely a military saddle. It's a McClellan saddle, developed in 1859 before the Civil War. The thing that kind of bothers me about this is not leather covered. Now, if you were riding this, 8 or 10 hours a day, see all these screws along here?
Okay.
And all the rawhide stitching that goes through here, your butt would be sore.
Seals the deal by confirming it never appeared in Dances with Wolves. Ifs, ands, or Kevin Costner's butts, he jokes. Smirks like he just won a bet. Seller's dream of movie history money rides off into the sunset, but hey, it's still a real Civil War relic. Not a jackpot, but definitely not junk either. Stars, where dreams shrink, but history still pays.
Was this used in the movie Dances with Wolves?
Well, I'd seen the movie many times, but when you called, I watched it again. But this time I watched and looked at every saddle in the movie, and the movie was very authentic. In fact, one of the most authentic Westerns, they've made in a long time. They paid attention to details, and I can honestly say this saddle was not in the movie. In my opinion, it wasn't. There is no rawhide treed saddles in that movie.
But you can't say for sure this wasn't in the movie.
I can say for sure, because every saddle in there had black leather on it.
That's the episode in a nutshell. The Kevin Costner saddle wasn't Hollywood magic, but it was still history. Rick scored a rifle, the Pawn Stars, our deals, unexpected laughs, and just enough chaos to keep everyone coming back.
No ifs, ands, or Kevin Costner's butts. But in authenticating something as being used by a specific person, you need more documentation than just an auctioneer's word saying this came from such and such a movie. You need a letter, you need serial numbers that match, things like that.
The episode opens on a surprisingly sentimental note. Lily announces her one-year internship is ending, and suddenly the usually chaotic shop feels like a farewell party. Rick and Corey can't believe it's already been a year, while Chumlee instantly blurts, "Not pregnant, are you?" He laughs it off, but the room softens. The old man gets reflective, talking about how people come and go. Once, nobody's arguing about money, history, or snacks. It's a rare emotional moment, like a family sitcom before the jokes inevitably ruin it.
I have some news.
Not pregnant, are you?
No. Jeez. Anyway, my one-year review's up.
It's been a year already?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great.
Thanks.
We'll fill out your paperwork.
Give it to me. I'll make sure it gets done.
It's hard to believe after a year at the shop, Lily's internship is coming to an end. All that's left to do is to review her performance, give her the paperwork, so she could turn it into the college to get her credit.
Warm vibes don't last. A seller walks in carrying what he claims is a Pony Express Bible, hoping for $5,000. Rick lights up immediately, launching into a full history lecture about riders delivering Lincoln's inaugural address in under 8 days. He cuts through the romance fast. Would someone gallop 100 miles carrying a Bible? Question. The seller insists riders swore oaths on them, which makes it sound less like a religious artifact and more like HR paperwork from 1860. The
This is a Pony Express Bible.
Okay, so it's a quick read. Very cool. Where did you get this?
I got a friend of mine that cleans up after estate sales, and so he gave me a call when he had a box of old books, and this was in it.
Corey, check this out.
What is it?
It's a Pony Express Bible.
Why would I want to see that?
Because it's the Pony Express, and I can't be the only one around here who knows about American history.
Looks rough, spine loose, pages barely hanging on, pieces tucked inside like a puzzle. Rick admits Pony Express memorabilia is heavily faked, so he calls Rebecca, the book expert, while joking he hopes it's not worth just a few $100. The seller, meanwhile, dreams big, saying it might be copy number 13 of the original 12 known examples. Ambitious math, but confidence is free. Rick waits, clearly hoping for a miracle appraisal instead of heartbreak. Rebecca.
From what I understand, they had to take an oath on the Bible before they could be employed by them.
I doubt if they carried it with them. I do know that the guy who owned the Pony Express was a really, really religious guy. Yeah. So the handing out of Bibles probably did happen.
Okay. You looking to sell it?
I am looking to sell it, and I would take $5,000 for it.
Rebecca arrives and immediately resets expectations. Not Pony Express, Overland Mail Company, a slow arrival, historic, just not as legendary. Values it at $6,000 to $7,000 even in its beat-up condition. Looks shocked, preparing for bad news. The seller looks relieved. Drops the line of the segment. He rode a horse 100 miles a day. First stop wouldn't be church. It'd be a bar. Honestly, fair. History buffs need a drink after that commute.
Okay.
From what I've found, there's only 12 known to exist. Maybe this is number 13.
The 12 known that you're thinking, that's a 1960 census. There have been a few discovered since then. That doesn't mean that they're not super rare.
An actual Pony Express Bible is pretty rare. There are definitely more than a dozen institutions, a few floating around private collections.
Negotiations hit hard. Seller sticks at $5,000. Rick fires back at $2,500. They circle each other like poker players. $1,000. $1,000. Refuses to budge from $3,000. The seller finally caves, deciding cash beats a fragile relic sitting on a shelf. Winces while paying, which tells you everything. He won, but it still hurt. $1,000 for Wild West history isn't bad, but Rick treats every dollar like it's leaving for college and never coming back.
Not a Pony Express Bible. What do you realistically want for it?
I really want $5,000 for it.
I'm not gonna do $5,000.
What will you do?
$2,500.
Yeah, I can't take $2,500.
It's gonna sit for a while. I mean, you gotta find the right customer. 99.9% of the people in the population don't have that kind of money to spend on a book.
Some of these collectors are passionate, though.
Yes, they are, but you have to find them.
Mood shifts dramatically when a rabbi brings in a World War II atrocity poster documenting Nazi reprisals in Czechoslovakia. It's chilling. Mark Hall Patton arrives and explains the brutal history. Entire villages destroyed to send a message. Boom goes quiet. Corey says if you read it and don't feel angry, something's wrong. Chumlee stops joking, which might be the rarest event of the episode. The seller asks $3,000, clearly valuing its message more than its resale value.
Mark Hall Patton has been my go-to guy for years. And I'm so glad he's here helping out Corey, because this is the kind of thing that history nerds like me and him absolutely love.
Interesting.
You look more like a rabbi than I do.
That is gnarly.
That's one of the really well-known posters of World War II.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Ben Shahn was the artist on this. He was a Lithuanian that moved to America.
Yeah.
Negotiates carefully, offering $1,500. The seller accepts, saying he hopes someone will preserve the history. Less about profit, more about remembrance. Corey sums it up perfectly. Items like this force people to confront the past. Walks away serious, no grin, no jokes. In a shop known for laughs, this moment lands heavy. For once, the transaction feels bigger than money.
$3,000.
Yeah, I've seen the poster before. I think we could probably get $2,000, $2,200 out of it if we sold it.
Will you take $1,500 for it?
Yes, I will.
It's a deal, man. Thank you. Thanks for bringing it in.
Thank you, buddy. Come with me and I'll write you up.
Okay.
Good to see you again. Very good to meet you.
Well, thank you, Rabbi.
Episode wraps with Lily graduating from intern to employee, Rick scoring an Overland Mail Bible, Cor still campaigning to be a mentor, still failing spectacularly, and shop returns to its usual rhythm, part business, part chaos, part stand-up comedy. Just another day where history, heartbreak, and bad jokes all share the same counter.
How much do we pay interns around here?
What do you want to know?
Well, I was about to place an ad online looking for a new intern. I just wanted to know how much they made.
You know what, Chum? I will take care of that part of my business.
No, I mean, I know you're busy reading your little book and everything, so I was going to do it for you right now. You know, I miss mentoring. I took Lily under my wing and showed her everything I knew. Now she's grown into an amazing pawnbroker.